Welcome to Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go.
Oh, I like that.
This audio uses AI narration to present our original book analysis.
Neat.
We're diving deep into Rick Riordan's The Sea of Monsters.
The second book in the Percy Jackson series.
So if you're ready for a whirlwind of Greek mythology, monstrous creatures, and demigod trauma,
Buckle up.
Riordan just throws us right back into Percy's chaotic world. He's surviving another school year.
This time at Merryweather Prep.
And bam, a dodgeball game.
Turns into a monstrous showdown.
Poor Percy can't seem to escape trouble.
Even when he's trying to blend in.
You'd think saving the world in the first book would earn him a break.
Right. Some peace and quiet.
Instead, he's expelled.
Yeah, thanks to a certain giant with a taste for humans.
And then there's Tyson.
Tyson, this seemingly lost and clumsy kid, always around Percy.
What is Tyson?
He seems harmless, even endearing, kind of clumsy and naive.
I know. The revelation that he's a Cyclops.
And, more importantly, Percy's half-brother.
It adds a whole new layer of complexity to Percy's already complicated life.
Definitely.
Talk about a family reunion. And speaking of family, things aren't exactly calm back at Camp Half-Blood either.
No. Thalia's pine tree, the magical barrier protecting the camp, is being poisoned.
Weakening its defenses.
Exactly.
And to make matters worse, Chiron.
He's gone.
Replaced by the irritable and perpetually hungry Tantalus.
A figure straight out of Greek myth. Imagine him in charge of a summer camp.
It's a recipe for disaster. And as the camp weakens, you know what happens.
Oh, yeah. The monsters, they draw closer.
Meanwhile, Percy is having these vivid dreams.
Of his friend Grover.
In dire straits.
These dreams, though, they're more than just nightmares. They're a call to action.
Interesting.
They reveal that Grover has been captured by none other than Polyphemus, the infamous Cyclops.
From Homer's Odyssey.
Yep, that's the one. And guess what? This Cyclops has plans to marry poor Grover. Talk about a bad date.
So now Percy has a new mission.
A rescue mission.
Rescue his best friend.
From a very unwanted marriage.
And the only way to do that is to find the Golden Fleece.
A legendary artifact with immense healing power.
The Golden Fleece becomes the central quest then.
You could say that. A symbol of hope for the ailing Camp Half-Blood.
Good catch.
Well, it's hidden in the Sea of Monsters.
A place teeming with, well, monsters.
Of course. That's what makes it the Sea of Monsters.
Even getting to the Sea of Monsters is an adventure. Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson, they end up hitching a ride.
With the Grey Sisters.
You know, those ancient hags who share one eye and one tooth.
Classic Riordan.
Only Riordan could come up with something so bizarre and hilarious.
They're outlandish, but they offer a crucial clue.
Do they?
They mention Jason, the original retriever of the Golden Fleece.
Oh, subtly linking Percy to a lineage of heroes.
Exactly.
I love how Riordan connects those dots.
Yeah.
But back to the Sea of Monsters.
It's a wild ride.
What kind of creatures do they run into there?
Well, their first encounter is with a flock of feisty birds.
Feisty birds. I don't like the sound of that.
They're not ordinary birds. They're Stymphalian birds with bronze beaks.
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
They've got razor-sharp talons.
Oh,
And they shoot metallic feathers.
like little missiles.
Exactly.
Sounds more like an aerial assault than a bird encounter. How do they survive that?
Tyson saves the day.
Tyson. Really? Being a Cyclops comes with a handy perk?
Oh.
What's that?
Immunity to fire. He roasts those birds.
That's incredible. That's when everyone realizes Tyson's not just a gentle giant.
Nope. He's a son of Poseidon, just like Percy.
Wow. This revelation changes everything. Percy suddenly has to deal with his family connection.
A brother he never knew he had.
But there's little time to process it. Camp Half-Blood is in danger.
And the quest for the Golden Fleece becomes even more urgent.
But Tantalus, the new camp director, forbids them from going.
He's clearly not interested in the camp survival.
It makes you wonder whose side he's on.
Right. It raises the question of trust. Can Percy rely on anyone?
That's a good question. Tantalus is clearly an enemy, but there are other, more insidious forces at play.
Oh, yeah. Luke, Percy's former friend turned traitor, is back.
And he's working for Kronos.
The Titan Lord who wants to destroy Olympus.
Just when you think things can't get more complicated, Percy has this meeting with Hermes.
Luke's father. The messenger god.
Right. And Hermes gives Percy some interesting gifts.
Like what?
A thermos that summons wines.
Handy?
And a bottle of multivitamin.
Multivitamins? What for?
Hermes just says they'll help Percy feel himself again.
Cryptic. Very cryptic.
A bit of a mystery.
Definitely.
But armed with these gifts, Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson.
They make a run for it.
They sneak out of camp.
Stow away on a cruise ship.
And I'm guessing that cruise ship is anything but ordinary.
You guessed it. It's called the Princess Andromeda.
Go on.
It's a trap set by Luke.
Luke. What's he doing?
He's using the Princess Andromeda to transport monsters
Eh?
and amass supporters for Kronos.
This is bad. Really bad. What happens?
Percy comes face to face with his former friend. Things get explosive. Literally.
Do they escape?
They have to blow up part of the ship to escape.
Wow. Now they're stranded in the Sea of Monsters on a stolen lifeboat with no ship, no clear path to the Golden Fleece.
And that's not all.
Oh no, there's more.
There's Charybdis and Scylla.
Who are they?
Only two of the most terrifying monsters in Greek mythology. They're guarding the strait into the Sea of Monsters.
I knew it wouldn't be easy. What are they like?
Well, Charybdis, she's a monstrous whirlpool. She swallows entire ships.
And Scylla.
A six-headed monster who snatches sailors from the decks.
This is getting scary.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario.
So a giant whirlpool on one side and a six-headed monster on the other. How do they even choose which horrifying fate to face?
It's a testament to Percy's character that even facing these odds, he doesn't give up.
He's determined.
Oh, yeah. They actually run into Clarisse. Remember her?
Clarice. That's right. She was sent on her own quest to find the fleece. I'd forgotten about that.
Well, they find her in the Sea of Monsters.
And she's probably not thrilled to see them.
You got it. She's not happy about the competition, especially from Percy.
Clarice has always been very competitive.
Fiercely. It's almost funny. Even in these dangerous situations, Riordan finds a way to weave in humor and character development.
So do they escape Charybdis and Scylla? How?
It's a combination of luck, skill, and maybe a little divine intervention.
Divine intervention.
Tyson's pretty good with mechanics. That helps him steer the ship. And they get a well-timed gust of wind from Hermes' gift.
The wind-summoning thermos. I had forgotten about that.
That propels them out of danger. But of course, their troubles aren't over.
They've escaped the whirlpool and the monster, but they're still out in the Sea of Monsters. Where do they end up next?
They find themselves at Circe's Island.
Circe's Island. Who's Circe?
She's a sorceress. Her island is like this luxurious spa that promises to reveal your true self.
Sounds tempting, but with Riordan, there's always a catch.
You know it. Circe is famous for turning men into animals.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And guess what happens to Percy?
Let me guess. He gets turned into an animal. What kind?
A guinea pig.
A guinea pig? No way. That's hilarious.
It's classic Riordan. He blends humor and suspense perfectly, but it's Annabeth who saves the day here. She uses her brains and quick thinking to outsmart Circe and escape.
She always has a plan. What happens after Circe's Island?
Well, their journey takes them past the island of the Sirens.
The Sirens.
Those creatures whose songs lure sailors to their doom. Remember Odysseus? He had to tie himself to his ship's mast to resist them.
They're the ultimate temptation. How do Percy and Annabeth deal with that?
It's a close call. The Sirens almost get Annabeth with promises of a perfect life.
A perfect life. What kind of promises?
Well, they offer her a life where she achieves her dreams. A life where Luke is still her friend.
That's rough. That would be hard to resist.
It is. But Percy, thankfully, has those earplugs from Hermes. He pulls her back from the brink.
That's intense. Their friendship is strong.
It is. It's one of the things that helps them through all this. But they've still got a long way to go to find the fleece.
I know. So what happens next? Do they finally reach Polyphemus' island?
They do, but it's not a welcoming sight.
What do you mean?
The island is guarded by a flock of, get this, man-eating sheep.
Man-eating sheep? You've got to be kidding me. Riordan's imagination is amazing.
It really is. It's funny, but also scary. They have to get past these killer sheep to reach the fleece.
Man-eating sheep. I can't believe it. So how do they deal with that? And a Cyclops. And they still have to get the fleece.
Well, remember the Queen Anne's Revenge? Percy's magical pirate ship from his dad, Poseidon.
Oh, right. It can sail on land and water.
Exactly. That comes in handy.
So they sail right up to the Cyclops' lair.
Well, not exactly. The fleece is in a tree, right? Guarded by those killer sheep.
Right. So what does Percy do?
He hitches a ride on one of the sheep. Uses it as camouflage to sneak into the cave.
Wow. That's brave. And smart. What about Annabeth?
She creates a distraction so Percy can sneak in.
Clever. But what about Grover and Clarice? Still trapped in there.
Oh, they're in there, all right. They're not too happy to see Percy.
Especially Clarice, right?
Especially Clarice. She's still mad that Percy's, horning in on her quest.
But they have to work together, don't they, if they want to escape?
Exactly. Teamwork is key, even when you're rivals.
Okay, so how do they actually get the fleece and get out?
They have to outsmart Polyphemus. They remember Odysseus from the Odyssey.
He blinded the Cyclops.
Yep. They use the same tactic, blind the Cyclops, and make their escape.
Whoa. And does it work?
It does. But then Polyphemus attacks.
Oh, no. What happens?
Tyson steps in to protect Percy. It's a big moment for them, for their brotherly bond.
Oh, that's sweet. So they finally get the fleece.
They do. But they run into Luke again, trying to steal the fleece for himself. He spills his plan, too, to revive Kronos.
Luke's betrayal just keeps getting worse.
It's a recurring theme. This struggle between loyalty and betrayal, and those you thought were friends.
So how do they get away from Luke this time?
They get rescued by party ponies.
Party ponies, you're joking, right?
Nope. Party ponies sent by Chiron's relatives from the South Florida chapter, only Riordan.
It's like serious danger, but then these hilarious moments.
Exactly. So they get back to Camp Half-Blood. They put the fleece on Thalia's tree, but it's not a complete victory.
What do you mean?
Well, they lost the fleece to Luke, and Kronos is still out there, waiting to make his move.
It's never easy, is it?
Nope. There's always another challenge, and this book ends with a cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger? I knew there had to be one. What is it?
A mysterious girl shows up at Camp Half-Blood. She has these electric blue eyes, and Pussy thinks he's seen her before.
Of course he does. Typical Riordan, leaving us wanting more.
Right. He's such a great storyteller.
He really is. This book has been a whirlwind. Monsters, quests, betrayals, but also friendship and family.
Yeah.
It's a great mix.
If you haven't experienced this wild ride, I highly recommend it. Check out The Sea of Monsters. You can find a link in the show notes. And if you want more deep dives like this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back soon with another mindful moment, ready to nourish your mind on the go.